Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29, back again for Super Sons Fortress of Attitude comic review on Son of Kal-El, Superboy, issue 9. And my goodness, do I have a lot to say for this one. And I mean it, I have a lot to say for this one. So, jumping into first things first, let's go into the cover rating. So, do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something or anything that's happening inside of a story? Sure enough, the first two do, the ones that you're seeing here. The third one, I think it would be heaps better if it looked more like Lois Lane, which it's a terrible depiction of. And not only that, that it also had some colour. So, for the first two covers, the one on the left-hand side, a 7 out of 10. The one on the right-hand side, a 7 out of 10. And of course, the top cover, a 3 out of 10. Yes, that's pretty bloody low, but not as low as the rating for the story. So now it's time to move into the internal art and show some parts in relation to the story around the beginning, middle and the end. I'll use the variant cover for this, the one that you see on the right hand side for this. And let's get started and look at some of the art and the story around the beginning. So we have this taking place in Metropolis with, of course, Nightwing on the prowl, working alongside with Superboy. And here we've got the people who call themselves the Rising when in other words, they're basically the Gamora Corp, just with a rename. Really fucking stupid, to be honest. And of course, he goes up against them on a building. And now it's time to move into the middle of the story. As we jump into the middle of the story, we get our heads up and ready for Bendix. Or should we say Tom Taylor's lover, who he idolizes. And last but not least, towards the end of the story, but I want to point out something here. Both Tom Taylor and the editor made a mistake. That's right, and it's got to do with this. There's an error there, but I'll cover it later. Okay, for the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to go into the story and its rating. First things first, were there any comic references? Well, as you saw there actually were some comic references, but one of those comic references was incorrect. When I first saw it, I thought, something doesn't feel right about this. I better go double check it. So I did end up double checking it in regards to it, and guess what? This story was not covered in the Superman Phantom Earth saga. And yes, that's where the comic reference was. That comic reference is 100% incorrect. Of course, we had the reference to issues 89 and 83 of Nightwing, of the Tom Taylor run. But the correct saga that it is meant to be, to which actually we do learn what happened in the story of John on Earth 3, is in the Unity saga, The House of Kal-El, which was actually Superman Volume 2 by Brian Michael Bendis. For this, I think Tom Taylor and Brian Michael Bendis both need to be fired. Oh, that plus the editor too. Alright, moving into the next thing, time. What did we get in relation to time? Oh, by the way, did those comic references affect the rating score? You bet they bloody did. Especially if I got to correct the mistake that the editor did wrong. Or the editor and also storyteller did wrong. No, we got nothing in any indication of time or what time of day that this was taking place with Nightwing and Superboy. The locations we did get were Metropolis, Gamora, and last but not least, the Kent home. The cast of characters consisting of Superboy, Nightwing, the Rising, who are basically the Gamora Corps with a rename. Absolutely fucking stupid. And I mean fucking stupid. We, of course, had Henry Bendix, Lois, and last but not least, Jay coming in towards the end of the story like the villain he is. So, for the story rating, what did this get? Well, to be completely bloody honest, this series needs to start going on to Fool's Gold. I mean it, this series seriously needs to start going on to Fool's Gold because of the rating. And what rating did I give it? A 4 out of 10. That's right, a 4 out of 10. What was the problem, or what was the thing that led to it being so low? The incorrect comic reference. To which I had to go double check. Yeah. Well, I'll see you again at the Super Sons Fortress of Attitude, to which the next thing that I'll be probably covering on the channel will be Robins. And have yourself an awesome day.